35. Married, one child, in medical crisis.
Gonna come back here and burn this building down. I promise.
That's the spirit.
This is America, goddammit!
The new Running Man walks a careful line between pulse-pounding action and a sharp critique of our media-saturated world, and unlike the campy 1987 take, this version feels like it's whispering straight into Stephen King's ear. Heads up, there are major spoilers ahead, and if you want more breakdowns like this, please subscribe. Alternate reality where corporate media networks do more than sell ads. They shape society itself. They hold sway over government decisions, and they decide which lives matter. The country is sharply divided. Oh look, there's our Arnold Schwarzenegger cameo. Most people jammed into poverty with little access to healthcare or social safety nets. Instead of addressing systemic failures, the networks offer free V, a steady diet of junk entertainment and violent game shows that serve to distract and pacify the masses. This is the film's central cruelty, and it sets up the moral landscape, a populace anesthetized by spectacle, while the real problems of hunger, illness, and housing are ignored or hidden by a manufactured news cycle. Ben Richards is our everyman caught in this system. He's a blue-collar worker who has been blacklisted, and he lives in Co-op City with his wife Sheila and their baby daughter Kathy. When Kathy gets sick with influenza, the family can't afford the necessary medication. Ben faces the grim choice many people in the film's world face. He can do nothing and watch his child get worse, or he can take a risk. With no other options, he goes to the network's auditions, and the producers slot him into their premiere show, The Running Man. The show's premise is merciless and simple. Survive for 30 days for $1 billion prize.
Survive the world's deadliest game show and walk away with $1 billion!
While being hunted by network hunters and incentivized civilians. The incentives encourage everyone to take part in the violence, and the show turns human desperation into a ratings bonanza. Dan Killian, the executive producer, offers Ben an advance for Kathy's medicine and a safe house for his family if he agrees to play. Ben accepts, not because he wants fame, but because he is a father with no other path to ensure his family's survival. From the kickoff, the show plays like a social experiment stacked against the weak. Ben and his fellow runners, Laughlin and Jensky, are given $1,000 and a 12-hour head start.
For the next 30 days, everyone in the country is trying to murder me.
I always thought this was fake. Feeling pretty real now.
And they must send daily tapes to be screened on air. The network molds public perception through those tapes, and the host, Bobby Thompson, helps by peddling a one-dimensional narrative that portrays runners as dangerous criminals.
Welcome to The Running Man!
The network weaponizes deep fakes and edited footage to demean Ben's family and turn public sentiment against him. This manipulation shows the movie's central worry: media power that bends truth into profitable fiction, leaving real human lives in tatters. Ben quickly learns that staying alive requires more than running. It requires outsmarting a surveillance state. He changes his appearance, forges IDs, and plans routes to avoid detection, but the network has access to CCTV feeds and facial recognition systems everywhere, and those tools make anonymity almost impossible. Jensky is caught early and killed, a brutal reminder of how quickly the system can obliterate a person. Ben is cornered in a Boston hostel, and a firefight erupts, ending in an explosion in a chemical-filled basement as he escapes through the sewers. At a low point, he meets an unlikely ally, an anti-network activist who shelters him, and that encounter expands the story from an individual fight for survival into a broader political struggle. Bradley Throckmorton is that first ray of resistance, a mysterious activist who posts anonymous videos to expose the network's manipulation. He has his own stakes, a sick sister to protect, and he moves carefully, but he offers Ben refuge and crucial information about how the network controls news and government policy.
No way to beat it. We have to work together.
Bradley's role is instructional. He explains that the network's control allows it to cover up societal decay, and when Ben tries to use his daily tape to expose the truth, the network replaces it with a foul-mouthed deep fake, that moment kills any naive hope Ben might have about telling the truth to the public, and it shows just how thoroughly the media can manufacture consent. Bradley then points Ben toward other activists in Derry, Maine, and the movie pivots to show how pockets of resistance exist, even under oppressive control. The resistance grows gradually, and the film smartly portrays it as messy, decentralized, and human. Posters and graffiti that say "Richard lives" appear in working-class neighborhoods, and this small but visible sympathy becomes a thread that ties unrelated acts of defiance together. On his way to Derry, Ben hears the news that Laughlin was killed when two local kids recognized her from the show and took the bounty into their own hands. That scene is bleak because it shows how the network's incentives transform ordinary citizens into participants in the spectacle. But it also demonstrates a counterpoint, support from the working class that recognizes Ben's humanity despite the smear campaigns. At Elton Parakis' house, a left-wing organizer who believes Ben's survival can spark something larger.
That's actually not true. No one has ever survived.
The potential for revolt briefly crystallizes. Elton's theory is simple. If Ben keeps surviving, people will rally. They will see the network's brutality for what it is. And a movement could form. That hope is short-lived. Soldiers storm the house, Elton is killed, and Ben barely escapes, jumping off a bridge. The losses stack up, and the film keeps raising the stakes until Ben's actions mean more than his own life. The turning point involves a hostage situation that becomes the film's moral pivot. Ben takes Amelia Williams hostage at an airfield in a desperate gambit to force a flight out of the country. He blurts out a bluff that he has a powerful explosive, a lie that forces Killian to act, but the network counters, revealing that the flight crew are actually hunters. Killian then presents Ben with a distasteful offer. If Ben will kill the hunters on the plane, he will be given his own TV show and a new life.
I'll be honest with you. I can't just let you win this game.
Ben refuses, and that choice cements him as someone who rejects the system rather than embracing it. Meanwhile, the film fills in Evan McCone's backstory, the masked hunter who used to be a contestant, a man who traded his chance to survive for a secure, violent job hunting others. McCone embodies the way the system recycles victims into instruments of oppression. The mid-air battle is savage and cinematic. Killian plays a morphed clip-on air, a fabricated footage of McCone killing Sheila and Kathy, designed to manipulate public opinion and paint Ben as the monster or martyr the show needs on board. Ben and McCone fight. Ben kills McCone, and he gives the last parachute to Amelia, an act that proves his moral center to anyone paying attention. Killian doubles down with a deep fake of Ben pledging to crash the plane into the network's headquarters, and then the network remotely redirects the plane to Co-op City where a missile causes it to crash. It looks like the end, a final exercise of control by the network, but the movie saves a crucial turn. Bradley posts a counter video that disputes the network's narrative, and the recovered black box from the plane contains uncensored audio of Ben and Killian, proof that the network lied. The footage serves as a detonator, sparking widespread outrage and protests that quickly swell into a real uprising. In a quieter reveal, Sheila and Kathy are shown to be alive and living under false identities, a small, emotionally satisfying beat that confirms Ben's sacrifice is paid off. The resolution doesn't lean on cheap spectacle to deliver justice. The network attempts to reboot The Running Man with a new season, but the audience has changed. They are no longer passive consumers. Turns on Bobby Thompson, and when Killian tries to helm the show, the crowd storms the set and throws Molotov cocktails. In the final twist, Ben appears in the crowd, still alive, and shoots Killian, executing the revenge that was shaped by the movie's moral logic rather than by a thirst for celebrity. He reunites with his family from a distance, a restrained moment that feels earned and intimate instead of showy. What makes this adaptation sing, beyond tense action and strong performances, especially from Glenn Powell as Ben,
Welcome to The Running Man.
is the way it centers the story's original themes. The Running Man was always about spectacle, about how entertainment can be weaponized to maintain power. power and about how celebrity culture can hide systemic injustice. This version doesn't shy from that core critique. It leans into it, and it gives the audience space to reflect on why we watch what we watch and who benefits from our distraction. Compared to the 1987 film, which chose a more satirical and less politically sharp route, this one feels closer to Stephen King's conception, a darker, more politically attuned satire of media and power. Is there room for a sequel? Definitely, the network's influence isn't magically erased, and Ben's work in building an actual resistance has only just begun. Stephen King's novel doesn't map out a direct sequel, so any follow-up would require new creative investment, but the film leaves threads that could be knit into a second chapter if the creators and studios want to pursue it. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into movies that matter, leave a comment with your take on the film and whether you'd want a sequel, and don't forget to like and subscribe. That small click means a lot and keeps this content coming.
"35. Married, one child. In medical crisis.
We need money for a doctor.
Welcome to the Running Man.